It's exciting in local sports right now, number one, because we're right in the middle of fall sports season, and number two, because Dave Seaman is back here on Community NEPA News. I'm Ken Carr with Dave Seaman, Standard Speaker Sports Editor. Dave, let's jump right in. Hazelton area boys and girls soccer off to a great start. The girls team just suffered their first loss of the season to Dallas, but Dave, a really strong start for them. Caitlin Ketcher in goal. She had a bunch of shutouts so far this season. Haley Kashak has been doing a lot of scoring, and the Lady Cougars moving in the right direction. And Dave, the boys, correct me if I'm wrong, because I usually am when we do these segments. That's what you're here for. The boys, the Hazelton boys, came on pretty strong toward the end of last year, made the district playoffs, hosted a playoff game, lost that game, but they seem to pick up right where they left off. They've had a hot start too.
Yeah, they have, and they have a lot of returnees back from last year. A couple of key pieces that are missing that graduated, but another strong start for Coach Scarcella, Ryan Scarcella, and Mark Sutherland. They do a fantastic job with that team, and they've been kind of grooming this team for the last few years. Off season, I know they've done a lot of work. I've talked to Ryan about that, and they're excited about what they can do this season, and they've proven it so far. And it's been a strong start, a tough loss to Wilkes-Barre, a very strong Wilkes-Barre team, but they're going to be a force to be heard from this year. I think they're going to make a challenge for the district championship, and these kids are committed to even better. And I think they were at around 500 last year, and like I said, they're committed to making an even better season this year, and one of the more memorable ones in Cougar soccer history.
Another local team having a lot of success right now, the Monomoy area girls volleyball team, ranked number 6 in the state in single A by the Pennsylvania Volleyball Coaches Association. Dave, in the same division with them is the number 3 team in the state, Nativity, in the Schuylkill League, so that is a very talented division there. Emily Lawrence, 92 kills as of Monday, September 2nd, or September 16th, as I was looking up stats on Max Preps, and Caitlin Honnis with 114 assists. Dave, I had a lot of fun recently. Let's talk high school football with the Monomoy area captains, all seniors, and they're on a little bit of a streak right now, winning 2 games. They'll play Hamburg this week before a huge showdown in Schuylkill League Division II with Schuylkill Haven. But I had fun with quarterback and safety Danny Lawrence. I also got to know Alexis Perez, who's having a big season for them at fullback and linebacker. Tony Merchlinsky, Dave, on both lines. He told me, now this was as of week number 3, after week 3, I believe, he has not had a holding penalty in his high school career. I made him knock on wood in that, and then he was demonstrating proper blocking technique on me. So he's been very impressive. And I also talked with Captain Hayden Wall, who's a slot back and a cornerback for Monomoy area.
Danny Lawrence will be our athlete of the week this week. He had a sensational game, 260 plus yards rushing in that win over Nativity last week. They're looking good too, but the team that's caught everybody's attention right now is Tamaqua. They had a great season last year, building off that this year. Quarterback Braden Knobloch has started out unbelievably well this year. Steve Stallone, our high school football guru, stat guru, computed a quarterback rating of 169.7. That's unheard of, even for the top pro quarterbacks. That was going into week 4. He had another great game in week 4 against Panther Valley. Their tougher games are coming up, starting this week against Blue Mountain. But Tamaqua was on definitely a team to look for this year.
Penn State football, Dave, you said they'd be 3-0 at this point. I said 2-1. Once again, you were right, and I was wrong. But I'm happy with the results so far, and kind of what we expected. I mean, up and down with a younger team. My concerns, Dave, on the offensive line and defensive lines, maybe not getting enough push on the offensive side, and maybe on the defensive line too much of a push coming in, maybe getting more pressure, and some missed opportunities. They had some chances against Pitt. 3rd and 15 long, defense maybe to get off the field a few times. 3rd and long, didn't do it. Same thing with the offense. Maybe a few missed throws or misplays that maybe could have ended that game a little bit earlier. But these are things with the young team that hopefully will come.
Yeah, I mean, you see glimpses of it. The offensive line, you talk about push the drive during the 3rd quarter. Probably their best drive of the season, again, against a much better opponent than they had in their first 2 games. But I believe they marched 88 yards for that score. It showed that they could get some push. Noah Kane, the freshman, came into the game. I believe he rushed for 40 yards on one drive on 6 carries. Also caught a pass out of the backfield for a first down. Sean Clifford looked like the seasoned veteran at that point. And I said the offensive line was doing its job, but it's not all the time. You want to make that more consistent. I'm sure they're going to use that bye week this week to hone in on some of those things that were not working. Defensively, yeah, you have to get off the field on 3rd down. Credit to Pitt. I mean, Pitt played an outstanding game. You really have to take your hat off to Pitt.
Well, guess who's playing this weekend? Notre Notre Dame and Georgia. If our John Eric Polai behind the camera right now, he says even if Notre Dame loses a close one, probably still in that college football playoff race. If they could win out, I agree with him there, but this will be a big opportunity for Notre Dame.
Yeah, big test right now. Georgia's just one of several teams in the SEC that's looks like a dominant team right now. They have an experienced quarterback in Jake Fromm, who's been there before, quarterback in the national championship game, running back from the Philadelphia area, DeAndre Swift, one of the top running backs in the country. Georgia's defense is very good, speed up and down the lineup. They have an experienced offensive line. They know how to move the football, but Notre Dame's not going to be scared. Notre Dame got a lot of experience last season. They played in the playoffs. They got to that point last year because they were a strong team defensively. Now they're missing some of those players from that unit last year. Will that show up this week? Notre Dame recruits excellent players, so there's going to be players, but are they ready to play on a big stage? That's going to be the big question.
Well, Dave, you could read his work in the Standard Speaker and at standardspeaker.com. Thank you for your time this week.